Hey, it's AK. We're back and we're talking about the perfect farm. That's 100% planter box conditions across all requirements through the entire life cycle of the plant. Got some heater management right here with some water management on the right. And look at this, 100% all the way down. This will maintain this level through the night cycle and the day cycle of rust. Let me show you how to build it. First thing we want to do is make sure that we have power to our light. So I have a light here with 2 power coming to it. Perfect. And then our water pump is already outside with power. Let's see, I got 5 power coming in it. We need to take our water inside. Throw a sprinkler up. The majority of farmers run just like this. Light water. I would say 99+% of people that have a farm do this. Some add fertilizer, maybe they do some water management, maybe it's manual, but if you include everybody out there, this right here gets it done. I've ran hundreds of successful farms with this setup, and it works great. But we're here to make it better. First thing we're going to do is we're going to add some fertilizer to the planter boxes. You do that by looking at the edge of the planter box, pressing E to open it. Now I bought fertilizer off of a player here, so I'm separating it into 4s. I'm going to put 250 in each one. I found if it's difficult to click the one you need, go to the edge and click it. Something that's simple, easy to check. All right, so now all 4 of them have fertilizer. So that's good. That checks that box. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take control of the temperature. So what we're going to do with that is we're going to be placing a heater. 1 heater for this 2x2. And we're going to put that heater in the middle, high up as we can. You can see the bubble. It's going to hit all 4 planters. So we're going to place it right there. Now to control the heater, we're going to be using clocks. So this is where I'm going to have 2 clocks, 1 to turn on the switch, 1 to turn off the switch. And here's the switch. All right, pretty easy. I'm going to come out of this clock into the off. This top one is going to be the off. I'm going to come out of this clock into the on. There you go. So this bottom alarm is going to be the on. It's when the heater comes on. This top alarm is going to be when the heater goes off. The time you set for the alarm is really going to depend on your biome. Grass biome, I'm going to use the following times. Again, this is the on. This is when the heater comes on. I'm going to use 9 p.m. or 2000 hours. Safe. All right, so check. What does that mean? Yep, it's checked. Safe. So that alarm, when it hits 2000 hours, it's going to trigger the heater to come on. For it to turn off, I'm going to set it as 5 a.m. or 0500 hours. Now we have to give power to these. I'm going to put a branch here. Okay, there we go. Now each one of these needs power, and then this also needs power. So we need 3 branches. We're going to come out and go over to this branch. Daisy chain them. So the clock needs 2 electricity. Yep, which is default is 2. This clock also needs 2 electricity. This one needs 3 for the heater. We're going to take it to the heater. There it is. Now, so that's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to change it to 7 electricity. The clocks come on. The alarms are set. I'll turn this on manually. The heater comes on. There's other ways to set up the heaters using solar panels or just using the switch at nighttime. This is automatic. Sometimes I've found that I need to adjust these outside of the times that I just set, depending on the biome. The best way to set these times is once you have something planted, look at your crop, and it'll tell you if the temperature is 100% or not. As soon as it drops below 100%, look at the clock and adjust that time. I've also had it to where instead of 5 a.m., it didn't get warm enough for it to go to 100% without the heater until 11 a.m. So you just got to set these the best you can. They can always be adjusted. The times that I input, I got them from ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT, what are the daylight hours? And it told me what in-game time it gets dark and it gets light. So I use those just as a default for this video. The way you control the water is by turning the sprinklers on and off as plants are planted. So plants are drinking the water, they're consuming the water, and you're adding more water to the planter boxes. And we want it to stay between certain numbers. Really, anything below 4,000 is too low, the plants are thirsty. Anything above 8,000, the plants are flooded. It's too much water. So I'll put something on the screen right now, and it's going to show you, depending on what you're planting, what the ideal water levels are for the square planter boxes. This same chart is available on RustBreeder to cover pots and other types of planters. If you're new to farming or you're an experienced farmer, there's a lot of information in RustBreeder Discord. You need to go check it out. I'm going to build this water circuit from the bottom up. It has 3 levels. I'm just going to build it from the bottom up and show you guys how to do it. 1 branch, another branch, 3rd branch, and then for the final here, we're going to put the XOR switch. It's the final item in this first row, if you will. Right, above this first one is the switch. This is going to turn the entire circuit on and off. And then now we're going to be placing 2 timers. A timer here, and a timer here. The next item is going to be a branch. What I'm doing with this branch is I'm going to rotate it to point the yellow arrows down. I'll explain why in a minute. There we go. And for the 3rd and final row, we're going to have a branch. We're going to rotate to the right. The yellow arrows are going to be going to the right. Place it there, and then we're going to put a pump. I like putting this pump on the ceiling, but for this demonstration purposes, we're going to put it on the wall. Now that everything's placed, we're just going to jump over here and get some power. Now bringing a lot of power over here to it, it only requires 5. You can adjust that as needed. There you go. This left side, it's going to be set to 5, and it's going to go to the switch. Out of the switch, down to this branch. This branch is going to be set to 3. We're going to come out of this branch into the next branch. Feel free to color code this. It's just not what I do. Once you have this branch powered, we're going to come back. We're going to take the remaining balance. We're going to come out of this branch to the timer. Out of the right side of the branch to the XOR switch. In the side A. Right? Looks good. Everything on the bottom is powered. We need to take this one and run in. This one, XOR switch is going to come up and over to this timer. This timer is going to come out to power this branch. Now this is why we flipped it over. This branch is going to come down to the right side, input B. And this branch is set to 1 power. The right side of the branch, inverted right side of the branch, is going to come down onto the first timer. Toggle on to the first timer. There it is. Out of this one, into this branch. This branch is also set to 1. The top of this, which is the branch out, is going to go to the toggle. The power out is going to go to the pump power. Now that we have all the electronics set up, we have to do a little bit of calculation. So we have to set these timers, right? So this timer on the left is always going to be set to 60. Let's just leave that as a constant. Don't worry about it. Set it to 60. To set the second timer, we have to know a few data points. We have to know, 1, how much water do the sprinklers put out? And we have to know how much water does our plants require, right? So we're going to turn the sprinklers on first. So what we're going to do is we're going to set a timer for 1 minute. And we're going to let the 2 sprinklers run for exactly 1 minute. And we're going to see what the water level is at. Right now the water level is at 0. I've reset them. And then we're going to turn it on. Start the timer. Go. 1 minute. 1 minute's coming up. There it is. So in 1 minute, we had 72 milliliters go into each planter box. So the water output is 72 milliliters per planter box per minute. Now what we need to do is prime the plant. I have these water jugs. We're going to dump them on here. We'll dump them in the corner to get all 4. We should be right around 5,000 milliliters when this is done. $5,032. Perfect. All the way around. Good. So now we're going to take a plant. And now that we have some water in here, we're going to actually plant these. And one thing I've noticed is when you plant the plant, sometimes it doesn't tell you the correct water intake. It takes a few seconds. So like this says 6 milliliters per 60 seconds. So we just have to wait a second or two and find out. I'm going to go ahead and plant this whole box. This is all the same plant type. If I was to plant hemp here, berries here, something else over here, maybe crops or flowers, they may require different water levels, which means you have to recalculate the math again. The output's going to be the same. 72 is not going to change until you add more sprinklers. We're still at 6 milliliters. Let's see when it changes. See that one? That one says 7. That didn't make any sense. Some sort of glitch. So let's just wait for it a little bit. Oh, that one says 5. None of them said 5 a minute ago. Oh, look. Now it went from 7 to 5. 5 is the real number. I don't know what this glitch is, so just pay attention to it. Make sure you use the right calculation. So you know there's 72 milliliters of water going into a planter box, right, per minute. And we know that each plant requires 5 milliliters of water per minute. And there's 9 plants. So these plants are going to drink 45 milliliters of water per minute. But the sprinklers are going to put 72 milliliters of water per minute in it, which is a positive. It's going to go over the required amount. That's where these timers come in. This timer is going to run for 60 seconds. The sprinkler is going to be active for 60 seconds. This timer is also going to run, but it's going to run after this sprinkler is off to turn it back on. So it calculates the downtime of the sprinkler. To figure out the time for this last timer, we got to do a little bit of math. So we already know that 72 milliliters of water are going to go in the planter box per minute. Good, we've got that. Now we've got 9 plants that require 5 milliliters of water. So 9 times 5 is 45, right? So that means these plants are going to drink 45 milliliters of water, but we're giving the planter box 72 milliliters of water. So eventually it's going to get full and it won't be 100% anymore. So we have to calculate how much time to turn the sprinklers off for to maintain a steady level in the planter box. Right? We're going to do that with this quick formula. So the formula is 72 divided by 45, 1.6. Multiply that by 60, which is how many seconds the sprinklers are going to run. 96 seconds. So we're going to take that over here. We're going to change this to 96 seconds. Set. So when I hit this switch, both timers are going to go at the same time. Right? This first timer is going to run for 60 seconds. The sprinkler is going to go off after 60 seconds. This timer is going to run for 96 seconds. And after 96 seconds is over, this timer is going to start again. That's how this works. So we should see this really maintain the same water level. It's going to be increasing because we're putting more water than it needs. But then after the full cycle, after the sprinklers come back on from turning off, it should be about the same. There's nothing planted in these, so these are going to keep growing. They're just going to keep going up. Almost 60 seconds here. There we go. And now we still have 36 seconds on this side because this is set at 60, this is set at 96. So what's happening right now is going to let these plants drink some of this water. So it's going to drain this planter box a little bit more. And then after that timer goes off, it's about to go off, the left timer that controls the sprinkler is going to reset and come back on. And it just does that cycle forever. If you have something planted in the planter box, leave the system going. Even during the ripe cycle, the plants are consuming water. If you turn it off or you set a timer just to run for the life cycle of the plant till it gets ripe, it'll stay ripe, but it'll drain your planter box. Before I let you go, let's just check on it one more time. Check on the farm here. Perfect conditions. Right, ready to rock and roll. Good little setup. Once you set it up one time, you forget about it. Let me know if you guys use this. We want to know how you manage your water, if you use this system or there's another system. I've already talked to a few players that just manually do this. They set a timer on their phone or something. They manually do this and control it. And they let it get up to like from the low end to the high end, and then they come back and turn it off. But this system right here just makes it completely automatic as long as there's something in the ground. All right. Until next time, this is AK. I'll see you later.